2 Count, where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, and like, and if you're watching the live stream, join us with your comments and questions. And now here are the hosts of the 2 Count, comedian John Russell, and wrestling broadcaster Big Ace.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Afternoon? I don't know where I think people are watching from in the afternoon. Anyway, point is, it is Tuesday. Big Ace is having a little technical problem, and he's working on it, and hopefully he will be joining us here very, very shortly. For those of you that are wondering what the heck is going on behind me, this is, I like to play different streams, as you know, on my background. And this is a stream of an Elimination Chamber match from WWE 20K. I think that's what it is. So it looks interesting. It looks like it's Brock Lesnar, and just I'm always in the way because my head is right in the center. But having said that, I hope you all are staying warm. I hope you're somewhere where it is warm. I hope you're somewhere where the weather is not affecting you too much. Rule is awesome today in Rochester, at the airport. It was above zero. I think it got up to 9. So for those of you who've been freezing your tails off, like I have been at work, oh boy, good news. My brother is stuck down in Dallas because of the snowstorm and ice storm that's down there. Apparently everything is closed. And they drove down for my nephew's hockey tournament, apparently having a hockey tournament down in Dallas because it's such a hotbed for hockey. But got stuck by the storm. And so they're down there looking for a larger vehicle, I guess, to come back. I guess the kids rode down on the bus and they went to drive back and had a small car, but then I don't know the whole details. I don't care. But he did say that those kids are those people down in Texas, they're like gigantic babies because it's like, hey Dan, good to see you, my friend. 6 to 8 inches of snow in the Sheboygan area. That's a pretty good chunk of snow. There he is, Jesse Towler. Hello, Jesse. Good to see you, my friend. Happy to see you. It's we're supposed to get a little bit of snow tomorrow, not terribly much, but enough that I'm going to be busy and working a 12-hour shift out at the airport. So, but they were also giving a free. They're giving a $5 incentive, which is awesome. So I will be making the big bucks tomorrow. Let's see. What else can I tell you? Ace was gone for his little vacation. 14 in Racine. Holy cow. That's a lot of snow. That is a ton of snow. Dan, the last time I was in a snowstorm in Wisconsin, it was probably close to this time of the year. I had a show. I did 2 nights in Janesville last year around this time. Yeah, I think maybe a week after. And so I did 2 nights in Janesville with my buddy Mark Poulos, and he drove home, and I drove up to the casino at Harris, Michigan. And boy, that was a long drive because it was still snowing and it was nasty around Green Bay. I saw a ton of wrecks. So it was frightfully scary, to say the least. But anyway, I hope you stay warm. I hope you stay safe. So I think we're out of the coldest weather here. So that's good news. I don't know if you guys have had to be out in it. Last night at the airport, just miserable. And we had one plane because it's funny because it gets so cold that it doesn't develop frost, and But we had one plane that somehow had just this ice buildup around the windows, but the pilot windows, and I had to get out and spray it by hand. So it was not fun. It was not fun. It was cold. It was cold. I have developed though. I get those little hand warmers. Those work pretty good if you stick them in your gloves. And I got some little foot warmers because my feet were getting cold. But it's the same basic deal as the foot warmers, but they stick to your socks. Well, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, that's. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I'm telling you, man. It's that. I guarantee you, it is not fun to be out in that stuff, is it? I don't know about you. I wear. God, man, so let's see. 1, 2. I wear 3 layers below the waist and 4 above. I should probably do it the opposite, but and I got the thickest wool socks I can, and then I stick those little toe warmer things on there, and it worked okay. But I'll tell you, today with the sun out, it felt like it was the spring. I was insanely happy. Anyway, so when in Ace, I gotta say, picked a here. Let me take a quick look. Oh yeah, heated gloves. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's true, Dan. You do have to keep the jewels warm. Yeah. Oh God, 9 degrees. I was ready to take my shirt off. Not really. I never take my shirt. I don't even take off my shirt in a shower. I do. So Ace could not have picked a better time to take a little vacation in Las Vegas. And he came home on Sunday. So he came home on a really cold day, but he got right a lot of it. Yeah, heated jacket would be awesome too. I've seen them. They've got stuff where you can put a heat pack. It's either in the front or in the back. I think they're pretty awesome, to be honest with you. But I don't know how much they are. One of the guys that I work with worked on the pipeline up in Alaska, and he's got what he calls an Arctic jacket. And I'm like, how much was that? He says, this is $1,000 jacket. I'm like, well, I got to tell you, man, I sure hope that does. Oh yeah, Milwaukee Works sweater. Nice. Yeah, I got to tell you, man, it's well, that's the thing. It's like, I think to myself, I was looking on, so when it was so cold, you guys, I was looking on Amazon trying to find, I should get some better long underwear. I say to myself, I should get better long underwear. And then I think to myself, and like you said, it's $100. It's not much, right? It's next to nothing. But the thing is, I'm like, I really only need it until this is over. If I can just, get past that, I'll be fine. Yeah, wool's the best. They say wool socks are the best. They will keep even if your feet get wet, wool socks apparently will keep your feet still warm, which I don't know. That's an interesting thing. So anyway, when Ace does get on with us, we've got, he did a little, he mentioned it last week. He went to the Las Vegas fight store and he took some video. Put your feet in cold water and then put on your socks. I don't think that's the way it works. Do something. Yeah, that's true. But one of my big problems is I don't have a lot of storage areas. I don't have a lot of place to put stuff. So maybe I'll just wait maybe I'll buy it in the spring when it's cheaper. That might work out. Okay. Anyway, so let's see. What's the big news in wrestling? Well, the biggest news that I saw is it looks as though a lot of the, I don't know about a lot, some of the New Japan talent seems to be and have it worked out with AEW and Impact that they're going to start appearing, which is kind of cool. And those of you that are real hardcore wrestling fans like Danny, you know this was one of the things that the Young Bucks talked about. They wanted to kind of make it like the old territory days. And it seems to be going that way, which is kind of cool. For those of you who are not familiar with the territory days of wrestling, what happened would be this. I mean, you probably have heard of Vern Gagne in the AWA. He had one of the biggest by area territories. She is? Lacey Evans is pregnant and it's not a work? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what I want to think about that stuff, Dan. It's good Lord. Maybe it was a Japanese wrestler did it. Anyway, point being, it's in the old days you'd have these different areas, and it was based a lot on the television coverage that they could get. I've mentioned it on this show before, and sometimes when I'm talking with Corey on Thursday, I think we mentioned it, but where I was in Des Moines, Iowa, growing up, the wrestling territory we were in was Kansas City. And Kansas City had, here he comes. Let's see if we can get him in here. Bingo. Hello. I can't hear you. You're muted. It says you're muted. Oh, hold on here. Nope, you have. So on StreamYard, you've muted yourself. I cannot unmute you. For some reason, you are muted. And I have zero control over unmuting you. Isn't this great? But you can hear me. Can you hear me? Blink twice if you can hear me. Can you hear me at all? So you can't hear me, and we can't. Well, there he goes. That's what you call a cameo in the biz. Anyway, so there were all these small territories. Some are bigger, some are littler. WWF was in the. Oh yeah, you know we're good. We'll roll with it. But you had yeah, AWA Dan was huge. AWA went from Chicago out to Seattle and then up across the north, and they even had a little bit of Canada. Vern Gagne's AWA was huge, and a lot of people that are from Minnesota don't realize that it was like it was either the second or third largest in terms of viewership, because Chicago was big, Minneapolis, and then a lot of the stuff along there was smaller. I think Vern Gagne did some stuff in Winnipeg as well, but I don't quite recall. But Central States was Iowa, Kansas, Missouri. So basically, St. Louis and Kansas City were the big ones. But then you had down in Texas, World Class Championship Wrestling, which was down in Dallas. You had Mid-South, which was out of Memphis. You had a whole bunch of stuff over on the East Coast. But anyway, what would happen was they were loosely joined in what they called the National Wrestling Alliance. And the National Wrestling Alliance had one champion. And that champion would go from territory to territory and wrestle their best guys. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly now.
All right. My mixer's apparently shit out. So
what happened?
I don't know. I could hear you for a second when I got on there.
Yeah.
But then I went to lower the headphones because it was really loud, and then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Oh.
And both computers are having problems picking up the actual USB connection.
Oh.
So it's got to either be the cord from the mixer to the computer or just the mixer as a whole.
Yeah.
It's a Mackie mixer. It's not the best.
They're not the highest. Yeah, they're not the highest quality, but it's okay. They're okay.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to get like a pre-Sonos and just get one of the, 2 input, just little ones. Because that's the other thing. It's like a 12-channel freaking thing. You know what I mean? And I don't need all that unless I'm doing live events, which obviously no live events are happening.
Not right now.
So it's like,
not right now.
You know?
So we were just so you feel you, and we were talking a little bit about the Bucks and some of the New Japan talent coming over, and I was just sort of some of the folks that are not familiar with the old territories and how they worked. I was just giving a little bit of fill in, but Dan is correct. Tons of big names in the 80s came out of Minnesota. 70s and 80s. I mean, Scott Hall started one of the places he got a big push to start with was in Minnesota. And if you can recall, Dan, I don't know if you do, you can go find some of these. He was a tag team partner with Kurt Hennig, which to see it is hilarious because it certainly doesn't look like the Scott Hall that we are all familiar with. He looks like porno Scott Hall. He's got a big old bushy mustache, and it was yeah. Could have been a Professor or Dr. X. Yeah, that's right. White mask with a black X. Could have been. There was one. Could have been Professor X or Dr. X. Absolutely. It could have been. God, I mean, the mask wrestlers back in the 70s and 80s. It was interesting because they would set them up like it was really if anybody knew who it was that was wrestling, why their life would be ruined, and it's very similar to the way that the luchadors from Mexico behave. It's like if you try to take their mask off, you've totally insulted them. And
unless you're Rey Mysterio, then it doesn't matter.
Well, that's because you're getting your eye popped out.
Yeah, but he's like had whole runs in WCW with no mask.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's just weird the rule didn't apply to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right, Dan. But yeah, there was tons. Sergeant Slaughter was up here for a while. Ric Flair was up. Ric Flair started up here. In fact, there's a story, and I think I can't remember if it's Kurt Hennig or Jesse Ventura talking about this school, and I think this was pretty standard in most wrestling promotions and schools, and I use schools with quotation marks. They would take these guys who said they wanted to be wrestlers, and because kayfabe was still alive, they would beat the living shit out of them, and try to make it so they didn't come back. I mean, there's a story about Hulk Hogan down in Florida having one of his trainers broke his leg, or they had one of the guys break his leg, and he's like, he came back anyway. So that was always the kind of the standard. If you could get the shit kicked out of you and still come back, they're like, okay, this guy's in it for the right reasons,
That's what Japan was all about. They beat the shit out of you before they taught you any wrestling.
Oh God, yeah. But anyway, so that's kind of a real just nutshell about the old territory days. But it's so I don't know if you've seen Ace, but it looks like Okada is coming to the U.S. and it looks like he's going to be doing something with AEW most likely. It's kind of getting exciting to me because I kind of like the way that all these promotions are starting to sort of mesh together. I don't know how you feel about it.
I like it. It's cool. It's very novelty.
Yeah.
I feel I'm getting to a point already though where I'm like, Especially, and again, I'll harp on this the whole time, and you guys will have to forgive me because it probably sounds like shit because I don't have an actual microphone.
Oh, it actually sounds fine.
And I can't hear myself at all with the headphones on. I can only hear you. I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it a million times more. AEW was a year in deep before this happened. I think they needed a good 3 years under their belt before they needed to worry about working with other promotions.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of talent that's sitting by the wayside over there in AEW that's like, you've been using me. I'm not signed. You could sign me. Like, what's going on? But instead, you're going to bring in the Good Brothers, and you're going to bring in these guys from New Japan and NWA, and it's just, I don't know. I just, like a TNA, ROH, I get those companies doing business with New Japan. And again, don't get me wrong, New Japan's the biggest wrestling promotion in Japan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think where AEW is their whole thing is they're trying to be another WCW or someone that can just at least compete with WWE, because that's not been a legitimate thing in how many years? TNA Impact tried. It didn't last. They got a little bit of buzz when they signed Hogan and Sting and all those guys, but it amounted to shit. Where, again, you see there's cracking and there's holes in that product. It's not what it could be yet.
Yeah.
And it needs time to get there. And I feel like throw in all these other factors in. And at the end of the day, and I get it, people, wrestling should just work together, blah, blah, blah. And I've always said, I love that idea of like once a year, we have an inter-promotion show where you do get those dream matches once a year, one big off show where there's money to be made by all. At the end of the day here, though, is Impact really getting big ratings because of their work with AEW? No. How many people who are watching AEW really went out of their way now to watch TNA? I am guessing not many than who were already watching TNA.
Yeah.
So again, it makes sense for TNA, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't even say TNA, Impact. It's not TNA anymore. Impact and like an ROH to work with Japan and try to work with these other companies because they got nothing to lose and they're not at the stage where they're coming out the gate first show, and they're on network TV. And all this stuff. And again, you hear TNT and TNN or whatever, Turner Network is happy with AEW, but they're happy with what they've seen up till now. And now is where all this mixing's happening. And I don't know if it's gonna really, I don't know long term how this is. And you're already hearing the stories. You heard about Sammy Guevara and how he may have heat with AEW and all this stuff. Rumors are he maybe doesn't now, though. But it was said that he did turn down a storyline, and he was supposed to be on Impact last week. But he said no. He didn't want to do the storyline. So then it starts asking those questions on, it's not WWE where you're on a WWE independent contract, but you do what WWE says to do.
Right.
Like there's no real ifs, ands, and buts about it, where AEW kind of still has the vibe of, nah, we can still kind of have control on what we're doing.
Yeah.
But like, when does that start becoming a problem?
Well, yeah.
When does that be like, now do you have Impact being like, well, hey, we were supposed to have Sammy over here to do this, but he didn't want to do it. He didn't like it. Or, hey, we were supposed to have, Private Party over here, but they haven't come over and done this. And then again, on top of that, at the end of the day, what is AEW gaining from this?
Well, that's just it. It's cool to watch.
It's very cool. That's just it. It's very cool. Business sense, though. It's like,
but that's just it. I mean, you think about what happened to Sean Spears. Where's he? When was the last time you saw him?
Yeah, him and Scorpio Sky had a feud.
I heard I heard Scorpio Sky got hurt.
Was that it? I don't know. They had a little bit of a feud going.
Yeah,
I was really enjoying, and then it just stopped. But that's just it. Where is he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of talent over there that it's like, and then again, too, I think the biggest issue with me too, with this whole cross promotion. And again, this comes just from the AEW side. They've hopped around storylines so much too, so quickly.
Yeah.
That it's like, now I feel like, who the frick is Kenny Omega actually going to feud with right now? I don't even know. Yeah. First it's Moxley. Well, now Moxley's got Kenta, and pick a goddamn story
Yeah.
Stick with it for a good 3 to 5 months and actually entertain me. I'm not entertained by these 1-2 month off storylines and then it's on to the next thing because you didn't tell me shit. I watched. Did you watch NXT Takeover Vengeance?
I did not.
I mean, I haven't watched NXT in the last month. I watched Vengeance. Had no big idea what the storylines was. That show fucking still was amazing from top to bottom. It's still, and I was able to know what the story was just watching the matches, and they were stellar. They were stellar matches. Also, I think we've said it before, but the women's division in NXT is the best women's division in all of wrestling today. And Dakota Kai, is it Raquel Gonzalez?
Yep.
And Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, I mean, proved that with that. I mean, they stole the show with the first match. It was crazy. But then you saw Io Shirai and Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm have a really great triple threat match. Pete Dunne and Finn Balor was a hell of a match. Kushida and Johnny Gargano was a great match. The men's tag match, what's it? MKS, is that their name? The Rascals, I believe, from Impact, who they signed, who won the men's side of the Dusty tag team. Phenomenal match. All of it was just great. And they were telling me, like, the Kushida, I think his name is, and Gargano, that whole match revolved around Gargano's hurt arm from the last month and a half, 2-3 months of this feud. See, it told a story going in, where here we just get a bunch of blah, 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 blah. A month and a half later, the match happens and they're done.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, by the way, was this takeover? Was this where the Undisputed Era was starting to break up?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. That was at the end of the Balor and Pete Dunne match, the main event, and that was, I mean, we all knew.
I think a lot of people would be interested to see that happen.
Yeah, it was great because it was O'Reilly was like the one who came out. The whole thing is they made the save for Balor because Balor won the match. He was leaving. Then Lorcan and whatever the other guy's name is come down and beat up Balor, throw him back in the ring. And those two and Dunn start beating the shit out of him. And that's when the Undisputed Era music hits. O'Reilly leading. They come in. They take him out. And I tried to watch the faces of it. But, like, they lined up to do the Undisputed Era with Balor, and, like, O'Reilly was kind of trying to, like, almost be like, you're with me. You're with us. And I would have to watch it again because literally for some reason I was watching it right before we did the show, and my WWE network signed me out right before the turn was going to happen. Like, it just signed out. And I was just like, what? God. So I had to sign back in really quick watching, and I was like, oh, shit, I got to get going for the show, and then all that stuff didn't work. So I want to watch it again, but I feel like what it was is Balor wasn't about to do the Undisputed with his hands. Instead, he was still going to do whatever his finger gunnies. Yeah. And, like, Cole was kind of watching him the whole time. Yeah. And Cole was kind of watching him the whole time. And when he started going with his hands like that, he just super kicks the shit out of him. And then O'Reilly's like, and then he just super kicks the shit out of O'Reilly. And then Roderick Strong's just standing there like, what do I do? Yeah. And Cole just leaves. So, I mean, it definitely seems like Cole's breaking off from Undisputed, which kind of bums me out because I always thought when Cole makes his debut on the main roster, it would be that much better if they came in as the faction.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Especially because, you know, if he's not too keen about going to the main roster, that's a good way to bring him, is bring his boys and bring what was working.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They've been together for a long ass time. The Undisputed Era.
I mean, how many years has it been?
It's at least 2 or 3. I'm going to say four at least, maybe
Could
5.
Be, yeah. Could be.
Not more.
And they've been great the whole time.
Absolutely.
I mean, all 4 of them have been great, you know. But again, that just speaks to, and it bums me out because I watching that takeover. I was like, I really need to start watching NXT weekly again because I'm just not giving them their dues. But then it's like, but I'm probably still not going to watch it live because I want to watch AEW.
Yeah.
But you never know, though. I mean, who knows? In 3 months, if like Dan said, the AEW women's title shot is such a mess right now. A half bracket of AEW talent, a half bracket of the IWGP women.
And the other part of it is half of it, some of it's on YouTube?
It must be, because the other half is not happening here, right?
No, right. It's just crazy. Yeah, and it's a very good chance.
WWE mess it up too. Like they all do. They all usually do. But I will say though, NXT has been pretty solid as far as they've never really had a down period.
Right.
It's just
stable.
It's just the NXT talent goes up and then they get ruined on the main roster.
Yeah. NXT is very, very dependable. And I honestly, still to this point, in terms of running functionality, I still think, even though I don't watch it as much, I still think they're the best run promotion out of everything. I think they're much better run than AEW, because we are like you said, for the reasons that the women's division is solid and makes sense. It doesn't in AEW. There are things that I like about the AEW women's, but it's not. It's like you cherry pick. It's like the Britt Baker show is hilarious and great, and the fact that Thunder Rosa's there, but your champion is off doing nothing, and it's the same thing with pretty much with the main roster. What the hell's Asuka doing? And what the hell's who the hell is even the SmackDown champion? Is it Sasha Banks?
Sasha, which they're setting that up. They've got to be setting that up for Bianca Belair.
Oh yeah.
What was there? Those two took out. Oh, they took out the tag champs, Baszler and Nia Jax.
Yeah. That happens, Dan, because we shoot out the five different platforms. We shoot out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and 2 Twitch channels. And it's just
we're on 2 Twitch channels.
Yeah, we're on 2 because we still have the old. We still have the old Masked Comedian Xcast, which I haven't changed, and then we have the John Russell WrestleMania. So I think some of the guys are watching on the WrestleMania, but whatever. I just can't. I haven't switched it because I don't. Yeah. Anyway,
that's all right. You and I have been throwing the idea around of kind of maybe moving the live and video part of this, We kind of talk about maybe moving that to the Twitch streams live.
Twitch, well, and there's also I was on with Corey Adam on Thursday, and we spent some time on D Live. You familiar with D Live?
No.
It's a streaming service that's like Twitch except worse.
All right.
but it's cool because apparently, so they explained it to me. Apparently, a lot of the really right wingers. Conspiracy people were over there, and they booted a bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
And then some of them left some of them left because in protest.
All right.
So now he says it's not terrible, but he says there's not many people there, and like at nighttime in Turkey, there's a ton of Turkish people use it.
That's hilarious. That's weird.
And so he had some people. Corey, and he kind of works. He goes and starts talking with people and interacting with their shows. And so he had an Australian woman that had popped in and was talking with us while we were on. And it's another cool thing. There's a lot of potential because there's not a whole lot of stuff there. But there's people there anyway.
Yeah, so the good thing is if you follow us on our social media, you'll know if we actually make that move. We'll announce that too, and we'll still post all the links. So like if you're watching us on Facebook, we'll post the Twitch link on here, so you just got to click it.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll still put everything on YouTube after it goes live, and we'll still we'll throw the audio versions up on all your favorite podcast places too.
Yeah, we can do that. All right. So, Elimination is set for Edge to win a title at Mania. I think you might be right. I hate to say it, but I think you're right. But I'll tell you what, Dan, what we're going to do now, before we get to Elimination Chamber, what we think might happen and that kind of stuff, as I was talking before when Ace come on, we have an absolutely wonderful video from Ace giving us a tour of the Las Vegas Fight Store.
Yeah, by the way, I should have probably told you this, but they were playing some pretty loud music in there, and I'm pretty sure it's all copyrighted. So
it's okay. I think I can probably monkey with it.
So I would that, or I just wouldn't use the audio. I can just talk over it.
Well, that's what I was going to do.
Okay.
So let me pop it up here, and it'll just start from your spot. This is the Las Vegas. So let's start off. Where in Las Vegas is this?
Was it the South Premium Outlets? The Premium Las Vegas. It's in an outlet. So here's the story. Like, the story's been there for years, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
I stumbled upon this place a little over 4 years ago. I was in Vegas. Weird enough, I was there on election day, 2016.
Oh, wow.
Clinton versus Trump. I was in Vegas. I was flying home that night, but I had like 8 hours to kill during the day. And I was broke because it was Vegas and the last day of my trip. Right. So I wasn't really doing much. So I was staying at Bally's. You know where that is if you're on the Strip.
Yes, I do.
So, Planet Hollywood's like 3 hotels up or whatever. So, only like a mile walk. So I did that hike, which it really wasn't that bad to Planet Hollywood. But they have a mall there. They got like a mall when you go inside to Planet Hollywood. Yep. If anyone's been there, So I went in there and I literally walked around for like 2 hours and really didn't look at anything except I ran across this store and it had like some wrestling cutouts in front of it and a bunch of like MMA stuff. And then it was like the log of Las Vegas Fight Shop. So I was like, this looks interesting. So I went in, I checked it out, and they had a bunch of cool wrestling things. So I started following them on Twitter. Make sure you do. I should have sent that to you, so you could have put that up. I'll find it. Yeah, it was a little Las Vegas. I was gonna tweet out our link.
Don't do
for
that.
People to watch us, and I forgot because we got to talking, and I didn't send it. Anyway, sorry. So it is at LV Fight Shop. And they got some good Twitter stuff. They pop some good stuff live during like Raw and Dynamite if you follow them on Twitter. But yeah, man, it's cool stuff, man. So I kind of wanted to go there when we came back this last time around. So that was kind of on my agenda to go check it out. But yeah, they moved though. So obviously I was on the Strip when I ran across this place. No longer on the Strip. It's at the Las Vegas South Premium Outlet Mall. So it was like a 15-minute Uber from. We were staying on Fremont, but we weren't actually at Fremont when we went there. We went from.
Gotcha.
You ever seen Count's Custom TV show?
Yeah. He was. They used to bring him on the Pawn Stars.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they did, didn't they? Anyways, yeah. So my nephew who came with me is a huge gearhead, loves that stuff. So he wanted to go there. So we went there. So we were from there to the Premium Outlet, which was probably like a 10-minute cab ride from Fremont. Yeah. So I mean, a little bit of a hike if you don't want to spend the money to get there or don't have a rental car. But again, this was kind of one of the only things I had on my list. So, but yeah, man, it's cool stuff. You could play that.
I will play it right now, and I just want to make sure that I turn the audio down and check the scroll there across the bottom.
Oh, yeah,
sure I got it right. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Right.
Very cool. So here's the other thing, and you can play. I'll just talk as we play the video. I don't know who the people. The only person that was there was this very nice lady who was working, who also does videos. So I guess if she sees this, throw your stuff out so people can see. She saw my microphone and was asking me about it. But I have no idea if it's like a family run thing. I kind of feel like it is or whatever. What's cool though is this whole first section, those things were like $25 a shirt, or I think it was like 3 for $60. And they had just a bunch of stuff. They had like, scarf. So that purple Macho Man I actually picked up.
Nice.
Just so you know, because I'm going to have a fuller video of this and my whole Vegas trip. And you'll see that on the Briscoe and Big Ace show.
Okay.
YouTube coming soon, like a full-on vlog of the trip. And I'll show you guys what I got there. They had a bunch of Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, Rocky, just
Yeah.
I swear everywhere you go that sells shirts in Las Vegas always has hangover shirts. It's just like a rule now, I guess. Yeah, if you search them on the web, on Facebook, whatever, they're gonna pop right up. Very cool. That cool ass WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's cool.
Pinball machine. They had the women's Rumble playing. That WrestleMania sign with T and Hogan, I believe, was signed by that whole card.
Oh, wow.
Right here. I kind of read it. I meant to go back and read it, and I forgot, but it had all the names on there.
Only $3,000? That looks like Bruno Sammartino right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I know
was above.
I know Blair was on it. I saw that. I saw the killer, like both Killer Bees. I think it was that whole card was on there.
Yeah.
But it's a cool store, man. It's a very cool store, especially if you're into fighting and MMA and boxing.
Yeah.
I don't get too much into that stuff, but I'm a Rocky nut, though. I love me some Rocky, so I almost walked out with some Rocky shirts. Cobra Kai, too, man. I'm a big Karate Kid guy. That's my nephew. They had some cool stuff, like the Tyson with the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, like, they had some cool stuff. If you're a big Money, the TMT right there, Floyd Money Mayweather, if you're a big fan of his, they got all his stuff in there, man. We passed by all his office buildings, too.
No kidding?
We passed by, like, his actual office. We passed by his strip club.
We can go back on, and once we get through it, Jesse, I'll go back and pause on it.
Yeah, I was moving a little. I got to get a better camera set up because
I think it'd be.
Making this work with my phone.
Here's the thing: it looks like it's a fine camera. It just looks like you're moving around too fast and not staying on anything.
Yeah, well, I'm just a shaky person, so I need to.
You need to
get a better rig.
You need to smoke up and calm down.
No, we don't do that. Stone Cold, yeah, and then you got. They had like cutouts you can buy.
So how much? For example, how much was that Sasha cutout?
I didn't actually look at the prices of the cutout. That was a sweet 3-pack of Demolition.
Yeah.
I don't remember who that was in the UFC fight. So it gets a little spotty here, guys, just because it was packed in tight. I don't know if you see it, but underneath that shirt, if I go to it eventually, you'll see a Bobby Heenan shirt.
Oh, nice.
While I was there, but they had everything. They had shirts for everybody, every company. Wow. Our cat bleeding everywhere. Just a bin of messed up. Yeah, you're gonna see this. I didn't know they had that figure, and now that I'm seeing it again on the video, I'm kind of regretting that I didn't pick that one up while I was there.
I can't believe you didn't. But why? So why was it in the bin? Was it because the top of it was funky?
I don't know. I don't know why that bin. I think it was just older, like less toys or beat up toys. Yeah. WrestleMania 32 clear bag. I kind of thought about buying it because I was at 32.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of like their nicer toys. They had some good Hasbro, Mattel, or whatever they are in there. Yeah. We did go to another store, and I don't remember if I got any video now that I think about it.
Okay.
I don't think I did, but we did go to another toy store that's actually on Fremont. And it's actually the toy store that the pawn shop from that show uses as well.
Oh yeah.
They had some very cool wrestling toys. They had 20 LGN old school ones.
Oh man.
They had like a perfect condition Elizabeth LGN that I almost picked up. I didn't get any toys. I packed light. I wasn't trying to bring a bunch of stuff home. And with the toys and stuff, with those, like those rockers up there, if I'd have picked those up for how much I'm going to spend on that, I'm going to want to wrap that stuff up, make sure it's good to go. Yeah. And I would have then had to pay to check my bag because that would have been more. Or I would have to just pay to ship them and just. In all honesty, I was trying to save some money during all this trip, so I wasn't trying to spend a lot. So I kept it to the 2 shirts, the Bobby Heenan, the Macho Man shirt. I almost picked up a Rey Mysterio shirt that I've had my eye on for a long time, but it was like.
I just say when you turn around, is that? I mean, obviously you can't. Did I see a blue AWA shirt over there?
I don't believe so. I don't remember seeing.
Lift up. Oh
no,
what it is.
It's AEW. Yeah, that's all that is. That was a Macho Man shirt, which they had a bunch of those Macho Mans with the red, white, and blue. That shit was cool. Yeah, and like I said, it got really tight right there. They had the blue blazer.
Oh my gosh.
toy. Yeah,
So
man.
all the stuff that they have on the wall is
I believe is
available for sale.
I believe so. I didn't ask on some of it. But yeah, man, I mean, that Rey Mysterio tan with the different colored background, I just showed it. That was the other shirt I was looking at, but that thing was like damn near $50 for just a t-shirt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man, because it's like a different brand. It's not WWE. Now you're getting into like boxing, MMA stuff, which again, very cool stuff. That whole thing, those TMTs, that's all Floyd Money Mayweather, Team Mayweather, man.
Yeah.
It's all his hats for sale and shit. I mean, it's a cool store. If you are a MMA, boxing, wrestling guy, like just one of them, you're going to enjoy going in there. But if you like all of that, the store is like where you want to be. I mean, look, just all the stuff. That's a Ronda Rousey Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue cover.
Yeah.
All these boxing and MMA signed prints and stuff. Like, it's just...
They have any Ali stuff in there?
Yeah. Definitely had a bunch of Ali shirts and some other things. They might have had a couple posters and pictures maybe. It's pretty cool. And again, if you're an actual boxer fighter, they sell the gear and everything. If you're if you're training, you can go get your stuff there too. But man, it's cool. So that's basically your wrestling section, though. That back right corner. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I feel like it's about the same size, maybe a tad bigger than it used to be on this strip, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. All right. I want to see if I can go slow here and stop this thing on that pinball machine for you, Jesse.
Yeah, that pinball machine was nice, dude. That thing was real slick looking.
Wow. And that's WrestleMania. It's
Legend. It's Legends of WrestleMania pinball machine.
Is it Legends? I can't see it.
Yeah.
But look at all the figures and crap in there. And the ring at the
top. Yeah, that's cool, man. It was a cool machine, man. It's a very cool store. If you are a wrestling fan, especially if you're down there and it's like Double or Nothing weekend and you're in Vegas for that with AEW.
Yeah.
This is a place to go. Shit. I wouldn't be surprised if next time that's down there, they maybe do some signings or something.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I bet they do.
And I mean, on a fight weekend, that's a cool spot to go check out. And then again, eventually WrestleMania is going to be in Las Vegas. And when it is in Las Vegas, that's going to be another cool spot because with all the indie places that come to town for Mania and all that shit, like you guarantee they'll do some signings or something is my guess. But it's full. Yeah, it's a cool store. Las Vegas Fight Shop. Check it out. Which, by the way, while we were in Vegas, I drove by that Raider Stadium a few times, and man, that is a slick looking stadium.
Yeah,
real nice, dude. I cannot wait for them to have a Mania there.
Well, the other thing I was going to ask you was, and I did see some AEW. They didn't have every AEW shirt, right? So
here's the other thing too. Like, they went by like kind of racks. So if you saw a Chris Jericho AEW shirt on the front of those racks hanging, there was probably 3 different version Jericho shirts on that whole rack. You just got to go through them.
Okay. Gotcha.
While filming, I figured that would be very tedious. I mean, don't try to hold the camera and be like, there you go. So I didn't do any of that. Sorry, guys. Again,
no, I think you made the right choice.
Go to Vegas and just go check the place out. It's cool. And the whole mall, it's an outlet mall. So, I mean, you got like Adidas and Puma and Nike and, whatever else those really fancy premium outlet malls have. They had them
nice socks.
Oh, yeah.
Really nice socks.
Yeah. We went into a cool collectible toy store. They didn't really have anything wrestling-wise, but I also like getting Funko Pop sometimes. You familiar with those, JR?
Yeah.
Which you can actually... Gonna see them behind me, but that's like all Funko Pops on that top thing there.
Yep.
Of just like wrestling and just shows and movies and stuff I like. So we found one store that literally had just a shitload of them. They only had a few wrestling ones, and what they had for wrestling I had already, so I didn't pick any. And plus, Funko Pops are a pain in the ass to travel with.
Why is that?
Because first of all, I didn't realize that you can take them out of the box very slick wise and fold the box and then put it all back together, and it doesn't even look like you took it out. But the first time we went on the Jericho cruise, on the very first Jericho cruise, I brought 4 of them to get signed,
Yeah.
And I literally had to bring my biggest suitcase because then I wrapped them. They were in hard cases, and I wrapped them in bubble wrap, and then they had to pack all over it. And then on top of that, the first cruise, the autograph signings were kind of crazy and like unorganized for the first cruise. That we went to the first one and the line was so long, and we got there like 45 minutes to an hour before it was supposed to start. That I was like, I'm not even going back to these.
Oh,
like,
wow.
They didn't even leave my suitcase. My nephew got one of his signed. So it was like just a pain. Plus, if I don't want to damage them. So, but man, my nephew picked up like 4 of those and like a couple other toys while we were out there. But I mean, it was cool. I do regret not getting the Renee Young toy. And actually,
you totally should have done that.
Really, the more I think about it, it's really starting to piss me off that I just didn't buy that.
It should piss you off. You really boned that one up good.
If I go online and look for it and it's like hard to find, I'm going to be really like,
I guarantee you it'll be hard to find.
I might even call them and just be like, do you still have it? I'll pay you the extra if you just ship it to me.
Will they ship?
I don't know.
I would assume they would.
Yeah, I would assume so too, but I don't remember on their website or on like their Facebook saying that you can order and they'll ship to you. So I don't know if they do or not.
I'm sure they want your money.
You would think so. But man, yeah, that and I kind of do regret not looking at a little bit closer at some of those LGNs at that other toy shop that was by our hotel. Especially the Elizabeth one, because it looked like none of the paint was rubbed off her yet.
Oh, wow.
On those LGNs, that's very rare.
Yeah.
So man, but the guys working that shop, again, they're the guys from they do the stuff for the pawn shop.
Yep.
And they must have had some big Funko Pop deal going down, because like they had like 2 people counting just boxes, and they had like a whole wall of stacked of just Funko Pops. And
oh man,
I overheard the 2 guys talking like, "Well, I'll do it for 2,800. I'll do it for." They like haggling each other, and so it was great.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so I do regret that, but yeah. Oops.
Yeah, you know what, Jesse? I think you're right. And that was the LJN were the first. If I recall, they were the first WWF wrestling figures.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that I had 4 of them. I had a King Kong Bundy.
I saw one of those this weekend. They had one there.
I had a Roddy Piper.
Nice.
I had a Jesse Ventura. And I think I might have had a Georgie Animal Steel.
Nice. Did it have the green tongue?
Yep. It did. It did until my kids wore it off.
Oh man.
Because we got the ring and we played with them.
For sure. You know what's funny is I had like 1 or 2.
Yeah, those big ass rubber ones. Yes.
Yeah. I got a Macho Man. Damn it! I have Macho Man. Why didn't I buy Elizabeth?
You dipwad.
I forgot I had the Macho Man one.
Now you got to call them up.
Shit. But I got a Macho Man. It's pretty good condition. It's not perfect. And then I have the Junkyard Dog one. I have is in
JYD
pretty mint condition, and it has the chain still, which those things with the accessories is always hard to find.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's funny though, man. Like I had the LGN ring, but then I played with like the Mattel figures.
Freaktoys.com.
Nice. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any figures anymore.
Do you still have your lunch boxes though?
Yeah, I still have lunch boxes. And the wrestling lunch boxes I've got a blue like Cavalcade of Stars one that Hogan is in the front of, and that's a WWF. And it's plastic, so it's not like super like, ooh, it's really bad. The one I have that's a little bit more valuable is I have they made a Macho Man snap into it Slim Jim lunchbox.
Oh yeah.
But it wasn't really a lunchbox. It actually, they had it to display the meat sticks, the Slim Jims. Yeah. So I got one of those. I might have one more wrestling one, but I don't think so.
Have you looked to see if that thing's worth money?
Which one?
The Slim Jim one.
Slim Jim one. Well, I know it's worth, at the time that I got it, I know it was worth more than the regular WWF one by quite a bit, because I think it was pretty rare. But I haven't looked lately. I see, the problem for me is I'm reminded of them never, because I got them all boxed up and they're down at my mom's in storage. See, that's a thing. I get stuff and then I got to go put it in storage. But the only figures I have some Beatles Yellow Submarine figures that are still on the cards, but that's the only thing I have left, because I thought, if I get those, those will be worth a lot. If I don't, they're not. They're worth maybe $3 more than when I got them.
Right.
Because they apparently made the shit out of them. And every dipwad like me says, hey, man, maybe I ought to. Oh, God, Chad Jacks. Those were crazy. Custom made pieces, too. Wow. Nice. Yeah, they're those games and stuff are and those figures are just crazy. I go and look at Walmart. I still have yet to see an AEW figure.
I've seen them a little bit now here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen any of the Chase ones. I guess they got Chase versions, which those ones are hard to find. They're the limited edition ones.
Yeah.
I've seen some people have pictures of them finding it just on the rack, but I haven't seen any of those come through. But I've seen them here, and then a local toy store here in Rochester. And actually, there's one up by you now in Everett Grove Heights.
Oh, no kidding.
So big shout out to Nerding Out. If you guys are in the Minnesota area, Rochester, or the metro area, check them out. Nerding Out. But I know that he had a few here. They had like Cody, MJF, maybe Young Bucks, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
You got to just catch them at the right time. My one buddy went to our Walmart here, and he found a whole pallet of them out by like the garden center that wasn't even open yet.
Wow.
So here's my thing, guys, and maybe I'm wrong. We should probably actually talk about the Elimination Chamber, because I feel like we haven't talked any actual like wrestling product lately yet, except for the NXT thing. But I don't buy new toys. I literally am only buying stuff that I used to have as a child. Like the LGNs I want to collect because I had some as a kid. The Hasbros, I think, is it? Am I right, guys? Is it the Hasbros, the like late 80, early 90 run that it did forever? Like those ones I had as a kid growing up, so I'm trying to get like those. But like the only new toy I have was I bought the Bobby the Brain Heenan figure that came out this 2 series ago. Maybe it was the last series. In the last year it came out. It's him in the Weasel outfit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and again, I only bought it because it's Bobby Heenan. Like they don't often make toys of him. So, but yeah, man, I'm into it though. I love watching the shit.
See, that's the thing. You buy your nostalgia.
Yeah, you definitely.
That's the reason. It's the reason I have lunch boxes. It's the reason I still have vinyl records hanging around. I gave a buttload of them to one of my nieces. But for example, the very first record I ever bought, 35 cents, 45. And guess how much it cost me to get it back when I actually got it?
Who is it?
Paul McCartney. First record I ever bought was Give Ireland Back to the Irish. From 1971 or 2 or 3 or 4. I can't remember right off the top of my head. 35 cents cost me to get that record. How much do you think it cost me to get a fairly pristine copy?
Like $60.
46.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because I got it.
I paid, I think, $35 for like a good version of a original print of the Off the Wall album by Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah. My
sister had the Thriller album. Like her and her girlfriend, when they were teenagers back in New York City, went and like bought it at the record store. Like they got in line and bought it when it first came out. And like that thing just never got used much. And then at my folks' house, it just sat in a pile of other records. So I have like a very fresh looks, brand new Thriller vinyl album.
I'd have to look. Most of my stuff is is there.
Nice.
Kiss. Oh yeah, Kiss. Dan, do you happen to have the for picture records, because those are worth huge bucks.
I don't know if it's worth anything either, but I do have the original soundtrack to Godfather on vinyl and Saturday Night Fever.
Worth $3.
Right?
This one thing, it's interesting because I used to know so much about records and recording back from the old days, from being in radio. And
oh yeah.
Because dude, I would get so much stuff up in Fargo specifically. I would just get all sorts of promo shit. And the promo stuff was crazy. Like, do you remember Johnny? Oh, dude,
nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. See, the thing is, like from a collector standpoint, if they get played, yeah, it has a detriment, because they've been played, but it means they're good. But the thing about it is, anything that's the original copy, it's automatically worth more than a reissue.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And that's the cool thing about it, is that, like, you can have this stuff, like, and it's like, oh, I have this great record. Oh my God, yeah, 8 tracks. I have 3 boxes, and
Holy
you got to be
shit.
about my age. I got 3 boxes of 8 tracks.
My first in like stereo that my parents let me have in my room was like a hand me down. It had a cassette 8-track and a record player.
Yeah, absolutely, baby.
I was playing 45s, 8 tracks, and then recorded the radio on my cassette tape.
There you go. And the best thing about the 8 tracks is they always put the hit right in the middle where it had to switch tracks.
Yeah.
Because then, and I'm not lying. I am not lying. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. The 8 tracks. The problem with the 8 tracks is it's still cool. They're cool looking, but the problem is I don't know if you can find an 8-track player anymore that you can hook to anything.
That's
oh yeah.
Yeah. You'd have to really go to like antiquing to find the 8-track players that play them nowadays. It's funny, like it's funny now when you see people who are, it's like, you still have a VCR.
Yeah, I still have one. Cause you know why? Because I got a buttload of tape still. And here's the thing:
starting to sound more like you're a hoarder.
I'm not a hoarder. I have things that I got. It's just like I got a bunch of Three Stooges video cassettes.
How often do you watch them?
Never. And guess you know why I never watch them?
Because you have the internet?
No, because I also have the full DVD set.
Yeah, all right, that makes sense.
You know how often I'm watching those?
Not much.
Never. You know why? Because damn things. They're still on TV.
You can stream it on that, or you can just stream it online for free on YouTube.
Absolutely, it's harder to stream it online, but they have it on Antenna TV every once in a while. Oh, I'm not an old man. Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits picture disc. That's awesome. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
So let's get into the chamber here.
Yeah, we got off the wrestling track there a little bit.
We definitely did.
No, I don't have the Blu-ray set yet, but yeah, $40 for an 8-track player. That might be worth it.
I would laugh my ass off if you actually spent money on the Blu-ray player version of the Three Stooges.
Shut up, you. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You got to be careful of this, because the 8-track player is a tape, right? You can play that tape, and the tape could just fall apart.
Yeah.
Because if you recall, it was pretty standard for an 8-track player to start eating the tapes. That was a standard thing. And so I'm like, I'd like to listen to it, but I really don't want to, because I can find it elsewhere. And if somebody wants to buy it from me, they can. And to be honest, the people that would buy an 8-track from you would be completists, and they'd probably pay a reasonable amount of money for it, because they're not going to play it. They just want to possess it, Anyway, all right. You're right. We got off the track. Do you happen to know what all's going on in Elimination Chamber? I know some of the. I don't. They keep changing everything. It's just crazy.
Yeah, well, we said that there's a lot of different variables going into the road to WrestleMania, and going in the chamber this week, and it's still like, what's going on? So triple threat match for the United States Championship. Keith Lee, Riddle, and Bobby Lashley.
Did you see this? He's recorded every winning Packer game since '94 on VHS or DVD. That's how sick he is. Dude, that is sick.
Yeah. I mean,
but you can watch him anytime you want to. So
I recorded one football game once and tried to rewatch it, and I was just like, I can't rewatch football. I don't know why. I just got to watch it when it's on. So is this match right, though? I should look and see, because I just tried to find the card.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This may have changed. I don't know. Is Keith Lee out? Or was he just out from... Because it has a triple threat match for the United States Championship, Keith Lee versus Riddle versus Bobby Lashley. On Monday Night Raw, though, it was a lot of talk of just Bobby and Riddle. I didn't hear much of Keith Lee being talked about in that match.
Keith Lee was not on television and nobody said anything. He may or may not be. I don't know.
I'm thinking that he's not in this match because I thought they already did that. But I could be wrong. Maybe he'll be in the match.
Yeah, possibly.
So another one that's going to be in the air now. And this is a perfect example of when you were like, well, what the hell are they doing with Asuka? Asuka was supposed to put her title up against Lacey Evans on Elimination Chamber, which now isn't going to happen after the bombshell news on Raw last night that Lacey Evans is pregnant. Which I guess apparently shooting wise, like she really is pregnant. Like her and her husband are having another kid. Storyline wise, though, it's like, is it still 3-way? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Dan. Like I said, I couldn't remember hearing much talk about Keith Lee for some reason. So yeah, I guess I don't know what that means though for that match at Chamber. Who's gonna get? Are we gonna see Charlotte get put into that? No. Why would
no?
I don't know. I really don't know what's going to do with that. It's funny. I said this before. This is all about Charlotte and Rick.
Yeah.
And it could literally be any woman in this position. And this is about to prove it because now on the fly, they're going to have to. And by the way, I keep looking at my other monitor like I'm used to that one and not this one that's lowered.
Oh, sure. Gotcha.
My eyes look like they're looking at my ceiling. Sorry.
That's okay.
Because now they're going to have to go on the fly and keep this feud of Ric Flair and Charlotte going, but now take Lacey out. Because what are you going to do while she's pregnant? You're going to just have them have this storyline of, I'm having your father's baby. But, like, she can't do anything physically. You're not going to, obviously. If this is all leading to Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair having some sort of weird old-timey match, I want nothing to do with it. Like, Ric Flair does not need to be in the ring. So where is that going?
I don't even have a guess. I just, they did have Peyton Royce come out with them, you know. Oh yeah, there's yeah. I mean, when it happens, they got to do something. They can't say, you know.
See, and I thought it was going to be a storyline, and it was all just, you know, a storyline and a hoax, and that was just how they're sucking Charlotte in. Because the other thing is, why did Lacey Evans stand on the apron for half of a fucking match?
Yeah,
that she knows she can't get involved in if she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Why did she stand there for like what the hell? It was a tag match. So that's why, like, going into it, I was like, this is just some
loser.
Yeah.
Loser retires for good. That'd be all right.
And but then they came out that she really is pregnant, so they're going to have to do something with that. I mean, obviously, I feel like this is setting up though that it's going to come out as not Ric Flair's baby, because she did do an interview backstage, and they were asking like, "Oh, is it?" And she's like, "It's my business." So I mean, I feel like there's some angle that's going to come out that it's not actually his. But how funny was it? First of all, the look on his face when she said, "I'm pregnant," like the total shock of. And then when he like acknowledged it, it was like,
"Call me daddy,
call me daddy." Woo, woo. What did they say? The longest and the oldest ride, the longest line.
Yeah.
Space Mountain.
Oh, sweet Lord.
God bless him, I guess. I don't know. And to me, though, the whole time I was just like, oh, poor Charlotte. Like, literally this whole time I've just been like, poor Charlotte. poor Charlotte. She should be doing something way more interesting than this stupid storyline that she's caught up in with Lacey Evans and her dad.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of, I wonder where Andrade is.
Yeah, didn't he get hurt? Is he coming back soon?
Yeah, maybe he got hurt. I don't know. Maybe he's home. Maybe he's home pregnant.
Right.
See, that's
so let
funny
me get
because
this straight.
that means because Charlotte's the man. See, in that relationship, but it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably not complaining.
No, of course not.
I'd probably let Charlotte get away with a lot with me.
Yeah.
So now I am kind of confused. So the Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns. So he's going to actually wrestle the winner of the Chamber match at the Chamber? That doesn't seem right.
It is though.
Is it really?
Yep.
What the?
And
so
it's such a gigantic effing mess. And they make it more and more convoluted every time they dip their toe in. Yeah. So now Miz doesn't want to be in it, right?
Well, and I seen that, but he ducked out of the Raw's Chamber match. So what is he?
Now he's said to be. Now he's both.
Now he's just both. A wild card. But he also cut the promo saying that he wasn't necessarily cashing in at Chamber. So I really don't know. But the fact that they're going to actually make whoever wins the Chamber match wrestle Reigns the same night makes me feel like that is leading to just a Reigns loses the title, Miz cashes in on whoever just had two frickin' matches, one of them being a Chamber match.
Yeah. I still, to be honest with you,
vice versa, he cashes in on McIntyre after a Chamber match.
Yeah.
Either way is a good way to go.
I guess it's like I don't understand why the belt is on the line in one match and not in the other.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But the other thing too, I could have sworn on SmackDown they said, or on Raw they said, oh, then the SmackDown's match is going to be blah, and the winner is going to get a title shot at Mania. That's why when I saw that, it threw me off. But I guess maybe I misheard that.
They got so much stuff going on. It's just they had a gauntlet match between everybody to see who's going to go last time. Well, what the hell? Why?
So here it is. In real honestly, that's why they're wasting an hour's worth of their programming on just a gauntlet match of the guys who are in the Chamber match that we're going to watch this weekend is because they have nothing else to do.
I know.
And they're probably still not sure where they're going with half of this shit. So they're just throwing hands in the air like, well, let's just fucking do a gauntlet match because we don't know what else to do right now.
Yeah.
I really think that's the issue right now. I really think that there's just a big issue of here's what we're writing, here's what we're doing, and then it gets to the final two being Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon, and it's here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And none of it's making any sense. So I guess the winner of the Chamber match of Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso will then wrestle against Reigns for the title.
Yep.
Owens, I guess, is I would say would win this, and we'll go against him just because again, if not, what
the only other thing would be Jey Uso, and then he just lays down for him, which would be to be honest, I'd be fine with that.
I'd be fine with that if that meant Edge then challenges him.
Yeah.
If Edge doesn't challenge him, I don't know where they can go from there.
Yeah.
It would have to still be Owens, I think, at Mania. And then, we have the Chamber match for the actual WWE Championship, McIntyre versus The Miz, Sheamus, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy. A few different things happening here. Miz out, Kofi Kingston in. Don't think that's going to matter much as far as Kofi winning. I think the big two we're going to see a lot of here is going to be Sheamus and Drew. I think that's going to be the focal point. We all already know what's going to happen to Randy Orton during this match. And that is going to be the Fiend's coming back. I mean, at this point, how is he not? How is he not?
Yeah, he has to.
Because that's got to be leading to a match at Mania. It just has to. I mean, I did enjoy the cut in from Bliss and doing the whole, resurrecting him.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. I know some people are like, this is just over the top, but it's like, it's wrestling. A lot of it's supposed to be over the top. If it's done correctly, though, you can enjoy the over the top like you would enjoy a horror movie. You know what I mean? Like it's if it's done right. Like obviously when Impact does some of their over the top, it's a little too cheesy, so it's harder to get into.
Right.
Like no one's shooting people in the ring. Yeah, yeah, I mean that could be. It's just it just doesn't make any more sense though. Like Edge and Orton started the Rumble, ended the Rumble. That kind of seems like that should be the end of the feud because that would technically be the third time they've been in the ring. And again, it's just the shit with Alexa Bliss and The Fiend just keeps popping up on Orton that if this doesn't mean it's a Mania match, you mean to tell me they're going to just keep having these pop-ups happening through Mania? That's a long time. We have 50-some days till WrestleMania happens, so I just don't see that happening. I really think The Fiend is going to somehow get involved in this Elimination Chamber match on Sunday night.
Yep.
I just, her thing was she said she was bringing him back. I mean, that's what she was doing. So
that's what she has to do then.
And the exciting part about it is she did say he's coming back like you've never seen before. So I'm excited. Are we going to get this crazy, like cool ass reboot of The Fiend? I don't know. I hope so. I still think the whole undertone of this whole thing is eventually Alexa Bliss is going to be like running The Fiend.
Yeah.
I think that it's that good she can do that. But I don't know, man. I don't know what any of this means for Mania. I really don't. Watching that NXT special, I was like, man, I guess I could see Edge go after Finn Balor for the championship, but then the whole Adam Cole thing happened. And that obviously is going to set up for those two to have some sort of match, probably Mania weekend. So, but then again, I don't know. Did we get a takeover last year when it was 2 nights? Maybe we won't get a takeover this year. And we have already kind of said that with Tim when he was on the show. Yeah. And that is that they might have to do some of the NXT matches on the Mania card again this year. Yeah. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte for the women's NXT championship last year on Mania. You know what I mean? So I just don't know, man. This is the most craziness I've seen on a road to WrestleMania. Usually by now we have a decent idea of what's going to happen. People are getting excited because tickets are usually bought by now too. Like usually the thing's maybe not damn near sold out, but like the good seats are gone by now.
Yeah, yeah.
More than half of the stadium's filled by now, ticket sales wise. You know what I mean? So by now they're usually giving us the stuff and kind of whatever. Where now I think they're still unsure on how the actual 2 nights is going to go, how everything's going to go in the stadium, having fans back, all of this while still trying to put the actual storylines together. Maybe it's proving to be a little too much for WWE right now. Because, again, I've never seen this much chaos going into the road to WrestleMania where it's like, I really don't know what they're doing. I don't know who's – like, the only clear things to me is Sasha and Bianca Belair.
Yep. That's it.
And honestly, Fiend and Orton. I really am just – I don't see how that isn't going to that match. And I mean, you know, see, this is why I can't wait till next year when we're back to just a one-night Mania. Because then I feel like they're going to give their all. We're going to get the takeover back and everything. And it feels like a real WrestleMania weekend again. This 2 night stuff's cool. But like I said, what are you going – like you just said, they wasted an hour of Raw on a gauntlet match with the same guys who are going to be in the chamber together this Sunday. That's not needed. We don't need to see that. So why is that an hour of your programming? On the go-home show, too, for Raw.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is what happens when you have a pay-per-view every month instead of just the 4 per year. But it also has its pitfall on that too, because I know AEW is we want to stick with our 4 big 4, but I feel like these 2 off Bash Beach and New Year's Bash Dynamites I almost feel are cheap.
Yeah.
I know sometimes we get some really good matches, but I'd almost like to see them like make it a bit more special and not just be a Dynamite. Maybe do a special Friday night. You know how they used to do. Well, they did it on NBC, WWE. They were doing it like once a month, or back in the day they did it more regularly, but the
main event,
Saturday night main event.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what that third hour is shaping up to be. And if it is, cool, let's get to it. But I still think there needs to be, like, you can have these like one-off specials. You can have a Friday night 2.5 hour special, and it can be named like it's a special event, but it's still not Dynamite.
Right.
It still has that feel that this is a special event, but it's not a pay-per-view. Where I feel these two double up Dynamite themed Dynamites, it's just, at the end of the day, it's just a Dynamite.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, make it feel a little bit more special. Especially, AEW is the place that should be doing monthly pay-per-views, because their storylines are monthly.
Right.
I will give WWE credit. At least we're getting a few months out of these storylines over there when we're getting them. So they would benefit better from having those 3 months to tell a story going into just 4, maybe even 5 or 6 pay-per-views in 1 year, as opposed to one every month.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in the business. I don't know shit. I just like to talk about it. But man, it seems like WrestleMania is in chaos right now.
Yeah. I just say it's fun to try to figure stuff out. Yeah, and who knows how that'll all work out. If they were on HBO Max, that'd be okay. It's just so interesting how this pandemic has changed not only the way that the wrestling promotions do things, but the way the media companies do things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all meshed together. I honestly, I think the biggest thing is it's going to be inconvenient. I mean, I think all of the content, I believe, will still be there, Dan. I just think it's going to become very inconvenient to try to find it.
See, and I don't think so. I think it's going to be very much like a Netflix. You're going to go onto the Peacock app, and there's going to be a WWE tab. Click on it, and you're in all WWE.
Well, if that's the case, then that'll be fine. I will say this. It makes me, from this perspective, I would not pay for Peacock on its own. But if I get Peacock because I continue to pay for WWE, then WWE kept my money.
Yeah, and that's the sweet deal for me too. Is the way I look at it is, so I'm paying $10 a month for the network alone. I have the free version of Peacock, but now you're telling me I'm going to be able to get all the exclusive stuff on Peacock just thrown in. I don't think people realize how much NBC really owns.
Tons
Network-wise, movie-wise, like NBC owns a lot. Why do you think they're now in a deal with WWE? So it's like, to me, I look at it as, I just got like way more programming for my $10.
Yeah. It's like a bonus. And it keeps, like when WWE back like a year ago or maybe a little more, we're talking about, we're going to do a tiered thing. This is much better than that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm honestly, when I think about how much I actually watch stuff on the network at this point, my $10 is probably, it's probably better spent somewhere else, other than the fact that I like to watch the pay-per-views still. But when you
get to watch all your Brooklyn Nine-Nine too.
Absolutely. Now, yeah, because now it's a different expenditure.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm all for it. I mean, the climate we live in for TV wise too, everybody, it's like cable's going away, satellite's going away. People aren't going to be putting money into those anymore when you can get a Hulu, a YouTube Live, and just all of these. I said this like 10 years ago. I don't even remember. Like whenever Netflix first started streaming, I was like, this is where we're headed. Mm-hmm. Like every major network's just going to have their own streaming platform, and you just subscribe to the ones you want and don't to the ones you don't. And that's where we're at now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's, again, it's not a bad deal to see. And they're all doing it. You got Hulu partnering up with ABC for the Disney and ESPN bundles.
Yeah.
And all that. And this is just the day and age we live in. And I mean, like I said, I'm going to get all my wrestling content, but I'm going to get a bunch of other stuff too. I'm a huge Park and Recs guy. Huge. It's like one of my all-time favorite shows. And that's an NBC show. So I'm like, great, that's right there too now. So now I can watch me some pay-per-view. And if it was a shitty pay-per-view and they made me angry that night by their stupid booking decisions, I could go watch an episode of Parks and Rec and I'll be happy before I go to bed.
There you go.
It's perfect.
It's beautiful.
I have been on a Brooklyn Nine-Nine kick now, though, because of my nephew last week.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching them.
It's fun. It's fun to be able to go and watch an entire series in retrospect. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I watched one on Showtime that had Bryan Cranston called Your Honor. It was only 10 episodes. And I got to tell you this. So my son and I split our streaming fees on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, hey, so I wanted to go back and watch The Good Lord Bird. I don't know if you saw that. It had who the hell? God, I can't think of the guy's name right now. Tremendous. And then I got hooked into this thing with Bryan Cranston, Your Honor. And God dang it, man. It's like you get hooked, they hook you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they get your money. NBC.
Yeah, I heard that too, Frank. I think it's worth noting, though, that whatever Khan, not Tony Khan, but the other Khan that's now like the VP of WWE, this last week came out and said that they don't expect it to have any effects on Monday Night Raw or the Wednesday Night NXT. So they must have some sort of plan in place. The other thing, too, is the things that they're pulling off that NBC Sports Network, all that's going to get just put into that app as well, the Peacock app. So my guess is, and because I think NXT was either going up against, was it NASCAR or something else that was nothing like really popular, that I think NXT is probably getting better numbers. So they'll probably still stick with NXT on the network. And then whatever that is will just be live on the Peacock app. That's my guess, and that's from what the VP from WWE in the conference call they had this last week mentioned, that he doesn't see that having any impact. So hopefully it doesn't, because even though I don't watch it live because I choose AEW, it's still an awesome thing to know that those guys are live. Yeah, hockey, that's what it was. Which I'm a hockey fan. I love me some hockey, but I'm pretty sure they're drawing bigger numbers with NXT.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, during the regular season hockey, probably not so much, but the playoffs, I bet, do better than NXT.
Dude, NHL struggles in the States, though, man.
Well, I know that, but
unfortunately, hockey is just not as popular as you would think it should be.
I don't think they'd put it on USA. I remember they had it on all different other crap, though. And you gotta hunt to find it.
Yeah, well, and so basically the other crap was that NBC Sports channel, and I think that channel is just going to get absorbed into the Peacock app. So when you're on the app, that'll be like the NBC Sports part of the app. Go there, and they'll have that streaming live on that.
Gotcha.
I think that's what they're going to do, especially if it's, if what's his name's saying that there's going to be no effect. There's definitely no effect on Raw. There's just no way. It's, I think, one of USA's, if not USA's highest rated show of their week. So man, yeah, I don't know. That's right. You're in Wisconsin, huh? So, okay, I guess in Illinois, Blackhawks fan. Yeah, we're wild up here, buddy. Minnesota wild all the way. I hate the Blackhawks. I've actually watched fights at the XL Energy Center at wild Blackhawk games between fans. It's hilarious. I still like you, Dan, though. I won't hold the Blackhawks fan part against you. So yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see how it all goes. I mean, everybody's making deals. I guess I didn't even know about AEW and HBO were trying to do something, but I mean, was it New Japan's working on a new TV deal, I think, over here in the stateside now too, I heard.
I don't know if if that's the case, I don't know if that'll ever be what it was when JR was doing the commentary for him. I don't know if you ever got to watch that. They were delayed by a couple of weeks.
Well, it was on Access, which was the same channel that Impact's on. That it's
right.
Like not hardly like not
it's
a lot
hard
of people
to find
have
it. Yeah. Well, maybe they're trying to convert you.
That's a good thing, Dan. That sounds like a good problem to have. I think they're playing LA tonight. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, man.
Well, we're at 90 minutes, brother.
Yeah, so Sunday night we got the man. That's just crazy. We had the Rumble.
I know.
We just had Takeover. Now you're gonna have Elimination Chamber, and then you're gonna have the Dynamite, like with the Shaq match, Shaq and Jade Cargill versus Cody and Red Velvet.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I think it's on the 3rd.
Yep.
And then you got Revolution that weekend, and then all in the middle of this too. I believe there's a New Japan show, like a bigger show.
Yeah, because I believe that's the one where Moxley and Kenta are gonna fight.
Yeah, and then does ROH have a pay-per-view for that? I don't know. And then all of this is leading up to the Mania weekend, so
yeah,
we got a lot of wrestling coming our way and a lot of stuff to talk about. So it's going to be fun. We'll bring Timmy back on here too. Maybe we'll bring him on for post-chamber reactions on next week's show.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Bring some other guests on and stuff as well. And then you guys let us know what you want to talk about too. We haven't done a list in a couple of weeks, so maybe next week's time to bring the list back.
Yeah. That'd be a good thing. We'll figure out what that is and let you all know. Other than that, it's very, very nice to have all of you listening. Oh, Slammiversary. Is that I think it seems to me like Impact just had a pay-per-view like last weekend. But
I don't remember. I can't keep it all straight.
It's hard. It's hard.
I really can't. But I kind of keep up with the AEW and the WWE and like some of the New Japan stuff. But I haven't paid. I don't have access, and ROH. I just haven't really been able to like watch it. I really do feel bad. I love ROH. There's some great talent there, but I do feel like a lot of things kind of just fell off over there.
Well, they fell off. They've always had it tough because it's on late at night. I don't know about where. Well, I don't know about where it is in your place, but for me, if I want to watch it, it's Sunday night at midnight.
Yeah, well, and I think for me too is there's just some talent. Like I like Jay Lethal, but like how like he was like top guy for how long? Where. Man, and I'm totally drawn to Peacock. What's his name? He's free agent now.
Yeah. The panty dropper.
Guys, help me out. Dan, if you were on the first cruise, he was on it with us. He did the 2 different gimmicks. One was the sailing guy.
Not Marty Skrull.
No, definitely not Marty Skrull.
Well,
I think the Marty Skrull stuff kind of held ROH up too, because when that came out, they kind of.
I agree. Yeah, they kind of pussyfooted around with the whole thing.
Dalton Castle is who I was thinking of. I really think that could have been the next guy to lead them into their next little phase, their next era. And I think they kind of went other ways and it didn't pan out. And then again, they put a lot of stock into Marty Skrull. Pandemic happened. Speaking out movement happened. He got lumped into all of that. Now, I'm not going to say, and actually, I'll take that back. Not lumped in. He was a part of that.
Yeah.
Or no matter where you stand on that, there is a valid argument. And I don't even know if he really got fired. I feel like it was more of just a
mutual.
Hey, this ain't gonna work out, because they did it in like phases. We've talked about it. Like there is one where what was it? It came out he wasn't booking anymore. He wasn't head booker. Then it was a few weeks later his stuff wasn't online anymore, like on their page. And then all of a sudden he's not with us anymore. And the surprising thing of that is the rumors of he might sign with WWE.
Yeah, which would be, and that's the thing. WWE would be the one that give questionable people a chance. I think ROH gave him every chance to get whatever needed to be cleaned up. I just don't think he could do it.
Well, it's a hard one. It's a hard one for him because he has a valid argument too. In his homeland, where it happened, the age of consent is 16, unlike here in the States.
Yep.
So in his homeland, where he was when this happened, in his eyes, there is nothing legally wrong with what he did.
Right.
And that was his argument. It wasn't that he felt bad. I apologize. I should have known better than to be with someone that young. Whatever it was just, but it's legal in that where it was legal.
Yeah.
it's not exactly how you want to come out with that, because at the end of the day, you're still a grown man hooking up with a 16-year-old. You know what I mean?
Correct.
At the end of the day, and whether it's all right there and not here, a lot of people aren't going to take as kindly to that. And yeah, that's the other thing. How do you book when they have no shows? But it just puts them all in a tight spot, and they were investigating him and that whole thing for months. So I think it was just one of those things where they're like, hey man, we're going to have to just part ways. This isn't going to work anymore. And I think he's done a good job about kind of just disappearing for now. So if he does pop up, cool. But I think for me too, personally, it's just, to me, a 16-year-old is a child in my mind. When I think about it, it's like you're doing things with a child when you're a grown man. Yeah. So for me, it is a harder pill to swallow, because in my eyes, it's like, yeah, but dude, I get it's legal, but that's still a kid. You should just not do that.
Because it makes it right.
Right. So for me, it would be hard to see him come out on TV like that. Like if he would have came out as a surprise entrant in the Rumble, I wouldn't have been like, oh, Marty's at WWE. It would have been more like, ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Was this the right call, guys?
A little cringy.
But and the same reason why Velveteen got a lot of backlash this last year when he came back, and rightfully so. So it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I will say he was a very talented guy, and I liked watching him. And down the line, maybe he'll be able to get a chance to do it again, and everybody can move on, whatever. But for right now, I still feel like it's a bit sore of a subject for him to come back, especially when you got people like Joey Ryan who won't let the shit end and is still trying to just sue everybody who said his name. Right. And it's just like, dude, just give it up. You're a creeper. Like, you're a freaking creeper, and you got caught. Yeah.
He's got to come up with something else to do. All right, guys. We appreciate it very much. Dan, Jesse, Minnesota Homegrown. Anybody else who didn't pop in a comment tonight, please feel free to do that.
Yeah. I got you, Dan. I read all. I hear all.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Anyway, great to have you back. Hope your vacation was awesome. Jesse, take care. It's always great to have you with us, Jesse. Buddy. We'll see you on Thursday. What do you got coming up this week?
I'm not really sure. It's been, dude, I'm getting old when a 2-hour time difference between here and Vegas messes me up, dude. Yeah. I'm still catching up on my sleep. And stuff. So I don't know. Make sure you just follow the Briscoe and Big A show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and Instagram, and you'll know if we're going to have a show this week or if not. The audio versions, you get those on the VOC Nation as well, so check that out. But yeah, we should have one soon. I just don't know if we're going to have one up this week or not, but yeah, definitely keep watching for that. I am working on a little video of my trip to Vegas, just stuff for people to see of what we did. Yeah. So that will be up on the Briscoe and Big H YouTube channel. So watch for that probably Monday, Tuesday next week. But yeah, watch for that.
Perfect. Those of you that have followed me over from Twitch Talk Show, Corey Adam Comedy on Twitch, you can look me up there. I'll be there with him on Thursday in the morning. And otherwise, we look forward to seeing all of you again next week. And enjoy the Elimination Chamber if you watch it. And you're going to be nice and warm, buddy. Mm-hmm. You'll be nice and warm, Danny. All right, everybody. We appreciate it so much. And yes, Ace, get some sleep, you poor traveling man. Folks, we'll see you again next time, 8 o'clock next week on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.